Hey, welcome to It's On Talk Show, and today's show topic is You Are the Money. I have two wonderful guests here, Brother Ted Sutton and Brother Brendan. How you gentlemen doing today?
I'm good, brother.
I'm well myself, and how you doing?
I feel so blessed just to be here.
I'm so proud to have both of you back again on the show. And again, today's show topic is You Are the Money. And what I mean by You Are the Money, if you out there selling drugs, doing negative things, doing criminal acts, you have to pay your money out to lawyers, the court systems, and so many other sources. And then when you go to prison, they work you as a slave. You know what? You're the money. You make money for the system. Really, you're being pimped. Brother Ted Sutton.
Yes.
You've heard the topic today, You Are the Money. How could you tell the viewers how much they are the money when they are imprisoned, especially by today's acts of criminal activities?
Well, first, brother, you got to understand that there is a number of ways that the money is just being brought in. So when you start dealing with adding up probation officers, COs, actually lawyers, judges, more officers doing overtime. Right. As you are dealing with some of the things, you have to understand it has become a business, meaning that if you were to actually stop selling drugs, stop doing crimes, you know that how many people you would actually put out of business. They would have to find different ways to really make it in society. They would have to work for UPS and start delivering mail and different things, because you wouldn't have so many people that's fallen into what they call this new Jim Crow, this new form of slavery, where they're getting free labor for young men who are actually incarcerated.
So you mean to tell me when they go to jail and they work for these companies who makes various products, that the wages that they make are so low that it's considered slave wages?
Actually, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest with you, if they worked any longer, they would probably be paying the state for the work that they were doing during the day, because that's how low, you know, that it is. I mean, a person could work for years and not make what someone makes in a diamond mine or a gold mine in South Africa. Okay. You know, and so you have some people that are officially being on some pimping ain't easy.
But you know what? Here's something that Ted, what I've been talking to folks about is that, you know, police will actually allow them to sell drugs. They know they're selling them, and let them just work it out for a while, make a lot of money, and then go and arrest them, because then they know that they now have enough money to feed into the judicial system.
Mm-hmm. The real problem I have is, how do you use a scapegoat? Like when you say the war is on drugs, we're having a war on drugs. How is the war on drugs for a young man that's on the corner out there for hours, and he's not even coming home, but with a couple $100 in his pocket, and that young man, that's not a war on drugs to say, oh yeah, we finally got him off the street. But what about the people that's bringing those that has those aircraft carriers and that's bringing, you know, these shipments? And to me, until you're willing to go to, you know, Colombia and different places and start dealing with, you know, it coming in and dealing with some of those people that are bringing it actually to the communities, to me, it's not an official war on drugs.
Well, true, but this is the game. They don't really want a true war. They want to have a system where people are in prison to fill the, now it's called the prison industrial complex, so they can make products for companies, and the companies make money off those products, because they have slave wages. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what's so sad is that brothers and sisters out there hustling, selling drugs, these veterans don't even realize that they're being pimped all the way around the board.
Anytime you can find $40,000 to incarcerate a young man, and even more if he's on death row, but you can't give $10,000 per child toward a mentoring program to prevent him from being a person that's going to be on death row, to me, it's definitely officially, you know, something that's been strategically put out there as a business.
There's something that's called from school to prison. And what's sad is that they can test a child at the 3rd grade level, and from those test scores, they said we need to build more jails because these 3rd graders will indeed be criminals. And another thing that's going on is put these children all these medications, which only stimulates the need for more drugs when you get older. So they will become the new drug users, thus creating criminal acts to fulfill a place in prison to become the slave. Because again, the industry is investing so much money in jail. They said Bob Barker, when you go to jail, and some may know it, on a toothbrush, his name is on it, because these big business folks are now investing in jails because they know that you're coming, because they are pimping you, they are giving you the guns and drugs to sell and do crazy things, because they know where you're going to be in just a little while as in prison, because they are making money off of you. So really, you're being pimped. Because most people who've been in prison and they grow up and says, hey, I'm not doing nothing anymore to engage myself or to allow myself to go back to prison, they wake up and realize the game.
Well, it's sad that that's how the way that it's looked at, but it's really not even a gamble anymore. If you look at it, actually investing into the prison system and the judicial system in that fashion is really not even looked at as a bad business venture. It's looked at as something that's very solid, meaning that it's going to keep going up. It's going to keep, meaning that if you were to say, okay, today I'm not going to sell drugs. Today I'm not going to gangbang. Today I'm not going to do any pimping and anything else that would actually cause you to get into the system. You would actually start to help collapse that part of the system.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah. So we have really got to think, my friends out there, what you're doing, because if you're doing wrong, believe me, you're going to get caught. I mean, a city like Baltimore, other major cities, everybody knows everybody. And what's so sad, people do criminal acts in front of everybody. Somebody's going to tell on you. So come on, you got to think, you got to be realistic and use some serious common sense. But at the same time, your brain is so sharp. You're so creative. You're so smart. You can do positive businesses, and I'm telling you, be very, very successful. So you can change the game. Brendan, can you just talk about changing the game?
Yes. I just think that I'm speaking for young people, and I think that a lot of times the problem is that young people don't understand that there's a bigger picture.
Right.
They're just looking for right now. So if they sell an 8-ball, you know, they feel like, you know what, I got enough money to get some shoes. I got enough money to give my daughter some Pampers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I got enough money to give my mom a little cash to get my mom, and that's what they think. And I'm speaking from experience.
Okay.
Because I was one of those young men out there, and that's the only thing I thought about. I wasn't thinking about, you know, what's going to happen to me when I get caught.
Right.
And I think that's the problem, is that you guys don't know what happens when you get caught. So, for example, you know, when I eventually got jammed up and I was locked up, you know, I had to watch my mother testify against me in court. Me and my mom were best friends. I loved my mother, you know, with all my heart, but I got a chance to see how much pain I was putting her through. Mm-hmm. And it was my first time seeing what was so wrong about selling drugs. I got a chance to, I had a girlfriend that was pregnant with my first child. But when I was locked up, she thought I was going to do time, so she got an abortion with my first child.
Wow.
So I still think about that to this day.
Right.
See, people don't see. Everybody think about all the stuff that you can get when you sell drugs, but nobody thinks about all the stuff that you can lose.
That's right.
When you get caught. And I think that that's the bigger picture. I think that as young people, we got to realize that it's not all caught up like they say on BET and MTV about, you know, glorifying selling drugs. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, you sell this dope to this parent, you sell this dope to this mother.
Right.
Now this mother is starting to fall in love with this dope more than she's falling in love with her own child.
That's right.
So you're not just hurting, you know, you're thinking about making the money, but it's a bigger picture. You're hurting families.
Right.
You're killing families.
Whole community.
And the crazy part is you're killing families that look like you.
That's right. Mm-hmm. You know, I was at a forum, and there was a former police officer. He worked in the grant writing department. And this is what he said. They needed numbers in order to get federal money. Well, what are the numbers of arrests? That's why in Baltimore there were so many false arrests and it justified getting a lot of millions of dollars to the city of Baltimore. So there's so much against you that you've got to use some common sense. Ted, could you respond to that?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the only real problem I have is that when you're looking at every time a young man interacts with an officer, it's a possibility that he may not go home tonight.
Oh, that's very
See,
true.
I let people know, actually, and I even do trainings and work with that, because to me, they have to understand that officers they can't afford to have a bad day.
Right.
You can't afford to have a bad day. See, when that person at McDonald's that says, "Welcome to McDonald's, may I help you please?" When she has a bad day, you don't get your fries. But when that officer when he has a bad day, my son doesn't come home.
That's right.
And that's the problem that we had. That's something that's very serious when you're dealing with a situation, like that. So part of the problem, more young people would do better if they knew better.
Right.
But when you have a situation, but if nobody is teaching you, when the person that you look up to, your big homie, when he don't know,
Right.
and his big homie don't know, how are you gonna know? And that's what it ends up boiling down to. Even in my book, Temporarily Insane, I talk about a piece that nobody has even taught them how to do wrong the right way.
Absolutely. That's right.
So they're even doing wrong. How do you steal a car in your own neighborhood and keep it?
That's right.
How do you go to a beef with 5 guys in the car, radio blasting, weed smoke going out the window, bad tags, and a tail light out, and everybody got a burner? To me, that's showing you, that a lot of these people, nobody has even taught them how to do wrong the right way.
Right.
So as you see that, a lot of them are longing to learn. They want to know about different things. Because I tell them, don't change you don't got to stop being a hustler. I say, but you got to change the product.
That's right.
Start hustling the right way. Start learning what to hustle. Start to learn the laws. You want to be out there breaking laws, but nobody has taught you that, you haven't taken any time to study the laws.
Right.
So you're playing, and I even did an experiment actually a little exercise with a young man. I said, well, let's play $5 grab. He said, well, okay, then. I said, pull out $5. He pulled out $5. And when he pulled it out, I just grabbed it and put it in my pocket. He said, well, Mr. Sutton, he said, Mr. Ted, when are we going to play? I said, we just did. I said, never play a game you don't know the rules. So you got a lot of young men that are playing a game and they have no idea of the rules. Meaning that if I was going to be out there and I knew that it was going to be 16 pills that could get me more time, but if I had 15 pills that I could get less time, I would make sure I always had less than 15 pills.
That's right.
But when you have people they are oblivious, and that means that you don't know what I'm talking about, you to some of the laws, some of the rules, but you want to play the game, then you need to check really what your occupation is. For somebody that keeps going back to jail, going back to prison, that means that you are not good at this.
That's right.
That means you need to step back, you need to stop, drop, and roll. Stop what you're doing.
Right. That's
And
right.
roll.
Drop it, and you need to roll out.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Because it's just such a false picture that's presented so much, and young people seeing this false picture that when you hustle, that is major success. It's not. They need to see this real picture right now. Ted, some young people, when they get arrested for various crimes, and especially when there's a lot of time, they say at night in their prison cells they crying like babies because they want to come home to mama, but they can never come home. Maybe in another 50 years, 25 years.
Well, see, I mean, when you even look at a situation like that, I'm looking at, I have to look at myself, and I look at how I was one of those same people. And when they talk about the why, I was one of those people running out there. You talk about Crazy Ted, that was also me. But now I have my bachelor's, 2 master's degrees, and a doctorate degree, and I've been going around the world, not the country, the world.
That's right. Right.
But I don't say that to brag. I'm saying that because God actually changed my personal situation. But the majority of my friends did not make it.
Right.
I have to do it for the ones that are serving life plus 20 right now in a maximum security, you know what I'm saying, prison that's underneath the ground. For my man Terrell that's out there, you know, in the cemetery off of Ricestown Road. To my man Nelly who was paralyzed from the neck down. From, you know, my god brother who went through $175,000 of our money in 1 year because he started getting high. I need to for my man Boo, they found in Drew Hill Park stabbed up on Valentine's Day in his own car. See, to me, I don't have no choice but to do this.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
I respect.
I can't just get a job, you know, at let's say at the post office and say that this is okay for me to do a 9 to 5 because I sacrifice too much.
That's right.
And see, and this is it's going to take real people because real recognize real.
Absolutely.
To really be able to reach some of these young people. And part of the problem is you got people that are getting grant money for programs and they don't even work with no gang members. How do you get money for gang members? You don't know a gang member.
That's sad. That's sad.
That's part of the problem. And I call them poverty pimps because they pimping the situation and it doesn't matter. And it leads our youth to be collateral damage.
And you know what, Ted? I also was talking early to you, and you mentioned that you're working with the White House now.
Yeah. I'm actually one of the people working with the My Brother's Keeper, piece that Obama just rolled out, and also I'm an official person working with the show Law and Order Special Victims Unit because of the work that I have been doing with gang members and youth, trying to get them to change their lives.
Okay. That's very powerful. I'm very proud of you,
Thank you.
For that. Because I think that you should be highly recommended for it because you're doing such an awesome job. So if there's a young person that's watching you right now, how could they contact and be a part of your organization? Because a lot of them right now recognize that they need to, what did you say, stop, drop, and roll?
Stop, drop, and roll.
Get out the game. Don't play no more because you're playing yourself and you won't win. You can't win. But is there a number, something, or email where if a person wants to get in contact with you for some help?
I sure will give it to them because they got to understand that it's a reason why it's called the trap. And it's also the reason why they call the money the cheese. So if the money is the cheese and the corner is the trap, then who the mouse? Who the rat? You gotta really think about things. So my actually website is SuttonHouseVision.com. That's SuttonHouseVision.com. And also the number is 410-428-3894. That's 410-428-3894. And I would love to talk to some brothers, for some grandmothers that have a child, for some fathers that want to get reconnected with their son. Any way that I can help, I'm a real cat and I'll do it.
See, this is why It's On Talk Show so important. You know we love you. And we bring people on the show that love you as well. And so Brother Ted Sutton here is appealing to you and offering you and extending himself to you because, you know, a lot of young people out there, of course you're making a mistake, and it's okay, but God allows U-turns. So there's some hope for you. We just don't want you to get played and pimped thinking you're real slick and in that game because the game is playing you. Brother Brendan, for a young person out there, how could you encourage them? Because you made a change in your life.
Yes, sir.
How can you encourage a young person to make a change?
I just want to say, make sure that you always have your own mind. Be strong. Don't listen to what your friends say or am I still on?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't listen to what your friends say. Just have your own mind and make sure that you're strong enough to make your own choices. Because a lot of times if you don't have your mind and you're not strong enough to make your own choices, the streets will eat you alive. So something like my godfather always say, don't be born an original and die as a copy.
That's right.
You know, Ted, you often say one thing, is that the game don't love you. Mm-hmm. Why would you love something that don't love you back?
Yeah.
You know, that's very strong.
Yeah.
And see, what happens, they see these false pictures on TV, and they think it's real.
That's part of the problem. Look, let me tell you this. Most cats, 2 movies help a lot of people go to jail, and that's New Jack City and Scarface. Now, how do you mimic 2 people that didn't even make a sequel They didn't even make it to the end of the movie.
Right.
So you are trying to mimic Nino Brown and Scarface, and neither one of them made a part 2. See, me personally, I'd rather be in this thing like Rocky. I want to keep on going,
There you
like
go.
that Energizer Bunny.
That's
I don't.
right.
I have a problem with something that you want me to mimic something that doesn't exist and does not live. That shows me that you're not grounded in reality.
That's true.
And see, and that's part of the problem. We have to really ground some of our. Even when I'm talking to a cat on the block, I'm like, he like, nah, Mr. Ted, I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna ride till I die. I'm like, okay, then. I said, well, give me your number. And he's like, huh? I said, give me the number that when you sell drugs and when you get to it, you're gonna get out. What is it? 10 G's, 20. $500,000, tell me. I said, because if you do not have a number, that means you are not planning an exit plan. That means you have no plan. So that means that either the stick up boys, the jump out boys, or the rollers are going to be the one to remove you from this. And me personally, every club that I've walked in, I walked out. I've never been thrown out of a club. It's an overrated experience. So for me, I want to have a plan. And if you don't have an exit plan, that means that you are waiting for somebody to be your demise.
Wow. Young folks, do you hear him? This is Brother Ted
They hear
Sutton.
me.
Yeah, I know they didn't hear you very well because, a lot of you all, I know are confused. But today's the day you can get some help. There's some hope here today for you. We love you. We don't want to see you continue to fail. We're sick and tired of all the crazy murders. I mean, it's all a waste of time. We really got to get back to love. What, can you just talk about loving oneself?
I mean, well, part of the problem, it's hard to love yourself if you don't know yourself. Nobody has taught you what a real man should be. So somebody has told you this thing that a man don't cry. If somebody has told you that you cannot be with one woman or whatever whatever their idea of being a real man. Even when I see big grown men take their son and bang him in the chest and say, oh, you better not cry. And see, and they don't understand that really, that's not how you teach. That's not how you actually, help someone to really learn, how being a man is.
See,
so when you dealing with that, they don't love themselves.
See, I want to piggyback off of what Ted just said. Part of the problem is, it's hard to fall in love when you don't know yourself, when you don't love yourself. See, one thing that I'm gonna use a word called Sankovi, and it's mean fly forward while looking backwards.
Okay.
It's an African expression. And one of the things that Ted said is people are doing wrong the wrong way.
Right.
They're not even doing wrong the right way. They're just doing wrong. And a lot of the reasons because they don't know. They don't know the right way. So a lot of times when I see stuff, I kind of laugh because when I see like parents coming to the school building and they got on pajamas and a tank top with no bra, I'm like, man, that's some nigga stuff right there. If I see people walking down the street in the middle of the day with some slippers on, I'm like, man, that's some nigga stuff right there.
Watch the N-word.
I'm sorry, but
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why I say that. I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you why I say that.
Okay.
The reason why I say that because the other day I was watching the news and I seen a young man. He went up to a 70-year-old woman and he grabbed her and he shook her down and he took her pocketbook. And I'm like, man, my man looked at me and he said, man, that's some nigga stuff. I said, man, that's crazy. And I said, see, the problem is we need to go back to the fact when we were Negroes. See, when we were Negroes, we could look at one another. We need to have that same mind frame. When we were Negroes, we could look at one another. Our grandparents could go down the street without having their pocketbook snatched.
That's right.
So, I say the word nigga and the word Negro loosely, but the reason why, because we need to change our mindset and start. When we were Negroes, we boycotted together.
That's right.
But something happened when we became niggas. When we became niggas, we didn't stick together anymore.
Right. That's
We
true.
don't know. They don't know any better. So now this is the person to be scared of, that nigga, because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know that he's on camera. He's just robbing a innocent old lady, because he doesn't know how to do wrong the right way.
Wow.
So we have to reteach, even in school. I watch in school, it's really not even a real history class about black culture.
Wow,
So
that's
black
right.
people don't even know where they came from.
Right, that's
right.
right.
So instead of knowing that they're from Africa, they think that they're just black, living in America. So it's just, we gotta reframe our whole mind process.
Right,
And that's
that's
why I say it so loosely. I apologize for
I understand.
keep using that word, but I gotta keep it real
Well,
because
I
I think that
understand.
that's what they really need to
I
hear.
understand. And I really appreciate what you've expressed, because there was a time when there was nothing but love in the communities. We didn't.
Yes, sir.
We weren't shooting one another. We weren't selling each other dope. We had love. We had unity. And yes, we can get back to unity. I believe there's one scripture talks about treat your neighbor as you would yourself. But when you don't love yourself, how can you love your neighbor? So
Yes,
you
sir.
have to get to a place where you have to learn to love yourself. Because if you love yourself, you wouldn't do harm to your neighbor. Is that right, Brother Ted?
Oh yeah, that's definitely right. That's definitely right.
So, I just want to thank you all for coming on and sharing. And again, Brother Ted Sutton, because maybe a grandmother, a mother, or father has heard you and Brendan speak, and their child needs some help because their child is going in the wrong direction. Can you please give your information again?
Okay, my website is SuttonHouseVision.com. That's SuttonHouseVision.com, and my number is 410-428-3894. That's 410-428-3894. And also, Brendan, can you give them any information you want to give out? Or because also, and you can contact me, because we work together.
Sir.
This young man, I'm very proud of him, and he's definitely had my back as we've been going around the country trying to save lives.
Ted, there's one young man out there that's hard-headed, determined. He's going to be the world's best thug, world's best hustler. Can you talk to him?
Well,
Bobby.
actually, look, Brother Bobby, let me tell you, Bobby Jones, OG Bobby Jones, let me tell you something. You looking at somebody that been there, done that, wrote the book, starred in the movie. And a lot of people know my godfather, Little Melvin Williams, the man they featured on American Gangster. So you can look me up. Yeah, I was Crazy Ted and known for carrying the sawed-off shotgun. But let me tell you something. Saying the worst thing that could ever happen to you is for you to fall in love with something that don't love you back. And I actually was ready to die and take a life for something that absolutely had no love for me. So if there's any way that I can actually give you a reason to actually live, give me that chance. Because, see, the worst thing that I can't do, I can't teach somebody who feel they know everything. That's the only thing that I can do. But if you feel that it's something out there that you want and you want change, you come holler at me and I got you all the way.
All right. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Peace.
Welcome back to It's On Talk Show. And today's show topic is You Are the Money. I have here today our great brother, Brother Cameron Miles, who has a program which is mentoring young people in the hood. Brother Miles, how you doing?
I'm doing great. And thank you very much, Brother Holmes, for having me.
It's a pleasure. I've heard so much about you and all your work in Baltimore and Maryland, and I've only heard great things about you, and I applaud you, and I feel honored to have you on the show today because
Thank you for having me.
And I know you're a person that loves people, and especially young people, because you want them to be their very best.
Absolutely.
And to reach their full potential. So, Brother Miles, again, this show topic is You Are the Money, which it denotes how the system plays the criminals or young people that do acts of crime when they are incarcerated. They got to pay lawyers, they got to pay court systems, and of course when they're in prison, they work as slave and get slave wages. Police will allow them to, they can hustle all, let them go for 6 months because we know they've got enough money now to put back into the system because they got to get a lawyer, they got to pay court fees and all that stuff. So, Brother Miles, why are you so committed to what you're doing?
Brother Holmes, I care about young people, and when I started the program in 1996, we had 5 young men, and I started it because of seeing so much devastation and destruction. Many of our young people just don't have guidance.
Right.
They don't have a roadmap, and you can't expect to know everything in 12, 14, 16 years.
True, very true.
although many of our young people think they know it all.
Absolutely.
So it just made sense after hearing so many curse each other out, kill one another, get to fighting, disrespect adults. Instead of complain about something, try to do something about it.
That's
So
right.
I started mentoring male teens in the hood.
Okay.
Hood is short for neighborhood, but you got to have something catchy to get young people to buy in.
Right. Right.
So we started with 5 young men, and now on any given Saturday we have between 30 and 40. It's a group
Wow.
mentoring program. Over the years we've served over 3,000 young people.
Is that right?
And we deal with young boys between 8 and 18. We
Okay.
don't have a mix
Between
of
8
young
18,
boys
so-
and young ladies. That's correct.
Okay.
Because when you have a mix, the focus is lost.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Brother John is trying to get Lene's phone number.
Absolutely.
And Sister Janice is trying to reach out to Shaquille.
Yeah,
And the
that's
focus is lost.
Absolutely
So we
right.
want them to always have that focus.
So how do you feel about the topic that you are the money? What does that? What the significance of that have with you?
I think it's an excellent topic, and I'm glad that you decided to do a show on it, and I'm even more humbled that you thought enough to bring me on.
Absolutely.
When I worked with Advocates for Children and Youth, we were trying to bring reform to Maryland's juvenile system. We held rallies
Right.
in front of Baby Booking, which is Baltimore City Juvenile Justice Center on Gay Street. Charles Hickey out in Baltimore County,
Yeah, remember that.
Cheltenham facility out in Prince George's County. So, we've done what we could to try to bring attention that the system is spending too much money locking young people up. And let me say this, if I can.
Sure.
Family and community-centered services. Family and community-centered services reduce delinquency far more effectively than the current reliance on institutions. So at some point, we just have to realize that for the nonviolent offender, and the majority of our young people locked up are nonviolent offenders,
Yeah.
we need to spend more money funding community programs, and we need to help young men see that they can't be Melvin Williams. They
Right.
can't be John Gotti. They can't be one of the members of the 5 crime families.
Right.
It's not set up that way. They don't have the connections. They don't have the business sense. And what many of our young people don't realize is that all of the world's greatest hustlers and drug dealers, they had super IQs.
That's right. That's right.
So many of our young people don't get the education. They don't learn how to read and how to write. They don't know how to keep that package straight. They don't know how to keep that money straight. And those are the 2 quickest things that will cause your demise and get you killed.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
so I think that we need to do a better job at reaching young people when they're young and helping them to see that you can be whatever you want to be,
That's true.
but you got to work hard. And a lot of them don't have a father. They don't have that positive guidance. And mothers, grandmothers are doing the best that they can do.
true. That's
I hear it every day. I can't tell you how many calls I get from Baltimore City Social Services, the school system, Department of Juvenile Services, where workers who are looking for a program, and the mother is at the wit's end, the grandmother, the foster parent is at the wit's end, and we need to embrace these young people and help them to see that people do care about them.
Right. So, Brother Miles, what do you say to a young man that's out of order when he comes in? How do you address him? What do you say to him?
It's not appropriate for me to use that language for your show,
Okay.
but I have to meet them right where they are.
Okay.
I have to let them know who I am, and the shirt and tie is a uniform, but I typically will wear a t-shirt and sweats.
Right.
And we got to keep it real.
Absolutely.
That's why I said mentoring male teens in the hood. That is real. If you say, well, it's mentoring male teens in the neighborhood, nobody's coming to be a part of that, because that sounds corny. That sounds tired. It sounds country. So our motto on our shirts is failure is not an option.
That's right.
You can fail, but we don't want you to fail. We want you to strive to do the best that you can. And I'll say something else to you, Brother Holmes. A lot of our young people are wearing their pants down on their behind.
Yeah.
And that there's a message that comes out of from the prison industry.
Can you mention that message? So that they'll know?
The message is that if your pants are way down on your behind, is that you're inviting someone to tap your hind parts.
Ooh,
so
and
a lot of young people, they may not know that. A lot of young people will say that, well, Mr. Miles, ain't nobody gonna mess with me because I'll take him out, I'll fight him, I'll knock him down. But that's not realistic. Because if somebody is doing 30 to life and they're 250, 300 pounds, you're not going to have your way.
That's true.
So all kind of circumstances and situations can get young. And when young people caught up, and once that gate shuts, it's too late.
Right.
So we want to make sure that they don't end up getting caught up in the first place. You can be slick, you can be cool, but get your education.
Right.
Learn to read and to write.
Because, Brother Miles, it's such a thing they have. It's from schools to prisons, and that's the thing.
Pipeline.
The pipeline.
I want to give you these statistics in a minute.
Well, please give me these statistics. I want to hear them.
So in Baltimore City, and this information comes from Appendix D, state-operated facility expenditures for fiscal year 2013.
Okay.
They spend $4.3 million on general administration. Baltimore City, maintenance $351,000. Somatic health, $1 million. Direct care, $9.6 million. Dietary services, we got to feed the folk.
Yeah, you got to feed them.
$1.8 million, brother.
Wow.
Mental health services, $1.7. Juvenile incentives, $5,000 for a grand total of $19 million. Then you got the Carter facility, $3 million, the total. Then you got Cheltenham. We just mentioned that briefly, $17 million. This is just 1 year.
Wow.
Green Ridge, $3 million. The Hickey School, Baltimore County, $13 million. Lower Eastern Shore, $4 million. Noise Facility, Montgomery County, $7 million. Schaefer Facility, $1.6 million. The statewide youth centers, $14.5 million. Victor Cullen, $8.3 million. Waxter for girls. Don't forget about the young ladies. One of the fastest growing populations in the juvenile facilities. $7 million at Waxter. Western Maryland, $4 million. Grand total, Brother John, put your seatbelt on, $105 million fiscal year 2013.
Keep kids incarcerated.
Yes, sir.
Now,
and I can go on and on, but
Yeah,
we could spend a third of that money, $105 million, and fund some community programs where people are doing the work. Because I'm not the only program out there.
Right, that's right.
I've been doing it for 17 years. Consistently, but there are many other programs that are out here that are willing to work with young people, and they don't have no fantastic budget.
Right, they're not getting.
I don't get a salary.
See,
you got to be committed to it, though, Brother John.
See, this is what's going on. They are not investing in education and proper programs, but they are now investing in prisons.
It's big business.
That's right. Starting at the youth, so the youth can one day grow into a greater criminal and go to the adult prison.
And the rehabilitation, Brother John, that takes place is pathetic, in my humble opinion. They're not getting rehabilitated. They're not getting the programs and services that will help them to change.
Right.
No real rehabilitation happens in the adult system.
That's right.
I'm talking about the juvenile system now, but no rehabilitation happens in the adult system.
Because now it's now called the prison industrial system.
Prison industrial complex.
That's right. Because this is what we were talking about. They are now making products in prison. So
they make furniture.
That's right. And these guys are getting slave wages. But those same companies, when that guy gets out of prison, that company won't hire him because now he has a record and he's not employable. So what happens is that same guy will go out and commit a crime to go back to prison to go back to his old job, making furniture in the new prison
The
complex.
state of Maryland has to do a better job at giving people who have made an error, a mistake, a second chance.
True, very true.
Many of them are hard workers. They want to do the right thing. They need an opportunity. No, everybody's not going to do the right thing. No, everybody is not a saint.
Right, right.
Neither you or I are a saint.
No, I'm
We're
not.
sinners saved by grace.
Absolutely,
We all make
that's right.
mistakes and fall short. But when these folks, male and female, black and white, make errors in judgment and they get caught up, once they serve their time and have paid their due, I mean, we shouldn't beat them over the head
Right.
so that they can't take care of their
But see, the
families.
system is is such that it doesn't want them to be rehabilitated back into the community, to be productive citizens, because the investments in the prison systems is so gross with money that they want them to continue that radical lifestyle so that they can continue to get that money from them working in the prison complex, so they get richer and richer and richer.
Well,
There's
then we
so-
got to be smart enough, Brother John, to say, I'm not going to allow the system to use me, because that's exactly what's happening. If you don't get caught up,
and that's why we're having this show today, to show them
then everybody
how-
gets caught.
Yeah, to show
Nobody
them-
gets away.
That's right. To show them that the system is pimping them when they're doing wrong. See, because you can
I just gave it to you.
yeah. Those statistics are alarming.
Baltimore City, the
Scary.
per diem, Brother John, per day, $568 per day
Wow.
to hold to house.
Wow.
Average annual cost $207,000. That's a 4 per diem. And Cheltenham is $500 per day. Hickey 800, 809.
You see, our society is sad. America one time was this great country built on the principle of "In God We Trust." We went from God We Trust to I don't know what. It's just gone crazy. And we have to go from the White House on down. From the White House, the State House, the City House, and people need to make changes, because, man, this is a ridiculous process that has progressed to our demise. And I look at the black youth, man. It's just sad what the things that they are suffering, what they're going through.
But what about our legislators? I mean, they
Well,
have
yeah,
to bear
those-
some of the brunt too, because
Absolutely.
the
Well,
laws
some
the
states
laws
too,
are in
yeah.
place
Yeah.
to make sure that certain folk go to jail and stay for a long time.
Yeah, and
sentencing guidelines need to be changed.
Absolutely.
And the way we got to get out and vote.
Yeah, that's true. Let's rock that vote. Don't forget. But Brother Miles, it's so true, and it's sad. And so today we really want people to wake up and let you know that people really care about you, young people. We don't want you to be a criminal. We don't want you to be in prison. We want you to walk into your purpose. We want you to live a good life. Brother Miles, could you give information out in case a young person is watching, or mom or dad, that child or grandchild needs some help to come to his program?
Well, first of all, again, I just want to thank you, Brother Holmes, for having me. And I heard a word earlier that started with an N, and I want to speak to that, if I may,
Sure,
for
go
a
ahead.
second. Too many of our young people are wearing their pants down on their butt. That's called sagging. We got to pull our pants up, and we got to look like something, because people are not going to give us an opportunity until we look like something.
That's
We
right.
have to learn respect. We got to say please and thank you. It's okay to say yes, ma'am, and no, sir. And we got to look people in the eye and let them know that we're serious. Not that we're trying to intimidate them, but we want to do something with our lives. And if you turn that word sagging around, turn it around backwards, it says niggas.
Wow.
And you need to know how people are attaching when they see somebody, male or female, wearing their pants down. They don't want nothing out of life. They don't care. And they are the N-word. So that's how those two go hand in hand.
Wow.
Mentoring Male Teens in the Hood has a website, mentoringmaleteens.org. We meet the first and the third Saturday at the New Shiloh Family Life Center, 2100 North Monroe Street. We meet on the second floor. And I'm willing to work with any young man between 8 and 18 years old. We keep it real and we keep it right. But there will be no disrespect. When we tell you to do something, we want you to do it. And there's a repercussion, there's a price to pay if you don't do it. But it's a tough love kind of program. We have a good time, but we also learn, we're balanced, we're focused, And we don't just sit in a room. We do things. We have trips. In June of this year, we're going to Hampton Roads, Virginia, where we'll visit Hampton University. We'll stay in a hotel. We'll eat at restaurants. Things that many young people have never had the opportunity to do. And it broadens horizons. It opens avenues. It opens potential. You can travel somewhere, Brother Holmes, just by talking about it or watching a movie. We could talk about Israel. We may not have gone to Israel, but we journey there in our minds. So these young men can journey to different places, but we also take trips so that they can have a good time and learn that people care about them. And the last thing, Brother John, we have to be consistent with our young people. Our yes has to be yes, and our no has to be no. If we say we're going to do something, we got to do it. Too many of our young people have been lied to, disappointed, and let down. If you're going to be working with young people, we have to be honest, we have to be true, and we have to do what we say we're going to do.
All right. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't move. Hey, welcome back to It's On Talk Show. And again, today's show topic is You Are the Money. Again, I have two, one for Brother Ted Sutton, Brother Cameron Miles, brothers who work with young people, who care about it. They've been proven, they've been doing it for years. They ain't playing, they're serious about it. Plus, I tell you, they're not soft. So, and they know the game. So you can't play on these brothers because they know what you're going through. But they want to help you to get out of what you're going through. And again, today's show is about you being played by the system. When you're out there hustling, doing all that, when you go to get locked up, you got to pay out all your money. So you can't, and then you ask mom to send some money in jail. Come on. But you're supposed to be a big hustler. Let's get real. So these brothers will come to you and appeal to you, give you the information because they care. Brother Cam, you want to tell them how you care and give you information?
I'd like to thank you again, Brother Holmes, for having me. To Brother Sutton, appreciate all the work that he does. Cameron Miles, mentoring male teens in the hood. My phone number is 410-852-8013. Our website is mentoringmaleteens.org, mentoringmaleteens.org. We meet the first and third Saturday at the New Shiloh Family Life Center, 2100 North Monroe Street, Baltimore 21217 on the second floor. All you have to do is fill out an application and you're in. So I'm glad to do whatever I can to work with any young man between 8 and 18.
Brother Miles, right there looking at you is a little guy. His name is Little Marquise, and he's got an attitude. Talk to him.
Marquise, just want you to know, first of all, that I love you. We care about you, and the only thing a bad attitude will do is get you in trouble, get you hurt, or get you killed. The last thing we want is for you to be a statistic. We want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, a business owner, work for public works. Do something honest. We want you to do something with your life. God has a gift in everybody. Everybody was put on this earth to do something with their lives, and we don't want you to waste it. We love you. Straighten up, fly right, and get your attitude together. Attitude, you only get one. And attitude determines your altitude. Take care and peace.
All right. Brother Ted Sutton, you want to appeal to, again, that Bobby's still being hard-headed, Ted, and want to give you information.
Well, I'm going to have to get at Brother Bobby, OG Bobby Johnson. Well, actually, first, thank you for having me on. My name is Dr. Ted Sutton, and I'm the founder of Sutton House Incorporated, working with helping young men to change their lives around in different places in the country, doing critical decision making. I have a young men support group I do at the Maryland Church of God in Christ, which is at 5100 Denmore Avenue, and also my website is SuttonHouseVision.com. That's SuttonHouseVision.com. And the number is 410-428-3894. That's 410-428-3894. And also I have the book, which is Temporarily Insane, which deals with discussion, helping young people. And also, Bobby, I want you to holler at me. And actually, I'm going to give you something a little bit different. that I didn't give him to him on the first episode.
Give it to him.
First I was born in sin, now I'm born again. No weapon formed against me can begin to win. There are no rules to break and no rules to bend. Just have faith like Daniel in the lion's den. And it doesn't even matter if you're deep in sin. Your life can be spared and will have to end. But you can't be swayed about getting paid and laid, and start handling your business and stop being afraid. Cause you have to make a stand for what's righteous. Cause I say you like this, cause you know the word, you can't fight this. But you might like this. But even in spite this is not entertainment, cause God helped me write this. So maybe I might just spiritually hype this. Righteous ride, and yes, I did incite this. I'm like a college professor just doing his sabbatical, and yes, I'm about to get radical. Praise for days and days on end. I won't back up, I won't break, and I won't bend. Protect women, respect the land, be your man, while you're taking your stand. And my name is Dr. Ted Sutton, Freedom Fighter Sutton, and Freedom Fighter Sutton on Facebook, and I support this message. I'm out of here.
Wow, my man. Brother Ted Sutton, I didn't know you had that in you. My man, that was powerful, that was strong. Brother Miles, go ahead.
I am somebody. I am a king. I love myself. If it is to be, it is up to me. For good, better, or best, never let it rest until my good gets better and my better gets best. A setback is a setup for a comeback. I love myself. Failure is not an option. We are also on Facebook, Mentoring Male Teens. We're on Be More Mentoring on Twitter. And again, mentoringmaleteens.org is our website. And thank you to Brother Holmes, and thank you to Dr. Sutton.
Hey, I might as well do this too. My name is Johnny Holmes. It's on Talk Show. I love you so much. But we want you all to know that these brothers here love you. They want you to be the very best person you can be, and they don't want you to get pimped and played by the system. They've been there, they've done that. They know they got stories to tell you that, believe me, if you do the right things, your life will be so much better. And you can be somebody special. You can be that same kid. Remember when you was a kid, you had a dream one day you was going to be a fireman, a police, a doctor, a lawyer. Go ahead and dream. Your dreams do come alive. They're real. Go back to your dream. Go back to that place, man. Young lady, you know, it's all right. Because all that criminal crap, it's a waste of time. And when you go to jail for years, you sit in your cell and you cry like a baby. I love you so much. Wake up. Remember, you are the money. Don't get played. These brothers here, they got programs. Grandma, grandpa, you got their numbers, emails. You know, if you have a young person, young lady who needs the help and support, these brothers are here. I love you so much. I'm out. I'll see you next time.
All right, now, peace.
Pastor Quinn, B-Lane, ain't no limits like Master P. Yeah, it's space age this year, baby. We ain't stopping. We like that no limit tank. It's cool to be Christian. Let's go.
Been hated on for not supporting those who worship Satan. So for Christ I'm hitting harder than the Be More Ravens. Outrageous courage, I'm just doing me and being bold. Rejuvenated like Ray Lewis, I'm not getting old. Psalms 103, restore my youth just like an eagle. I sharpen up my beak then fly way above the evil. Receive my victory and then I'm on my way. Before I step outside I take the time to pray. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, I'm crying out your name cause I know I really need you. I wanna love my enemies, please help me love them tenderly. My emotions get the best of me, grant me serenity. I wanna turn to you instead of turning to the Hennessy when development's arrested. As if I was from Tennessee when Satan tried to shake me or chop me up like timberry. I know you won't forsake me, cause I know that you remember me. I marinate, falling asleep, listening to scriptures. If you're rolling with Christ, you know I'm rolling with you. Shout out to King James, he represent the N.O. That's my brother in Christ, that means we kinfolk. Shout out to Pastor Quinn, our pulpit is the streets. We teach the word of God, been doing it over big. For all the people that's been searching for a healing. Like a car shark in Vegas that's been dealing. This game is sensei and we pulling your card. You're not the king of all kings, you just the joker that's fraud. Now it's time time for me to do my duty. I'ma represent for Grandma Ruby. No limits, just like Jesus, teaming up with Master P. Hydroplaning in a tank over the Dead Sea. The bread of life and living water, that's what fed me. Kingdom expansion all the time, that's where my head be. No limits, just like Jesus, teaming up with Master P. Hydroplaning in a tank over the Dead Sea. No limits, just like Jesus, teaming up with Master P. Hydroplaning in a tank over the Dead Sea. No limits, just like Jesus, teaming up with Master P. Hydroplaning in a tank over the Dead Sea. No limits, just like Jesus, teaming up with Master P. Hydroplaning in a tank over the Dead Sea.
I was a falcon, now I'm a raven. I was a sinner, but Jehovah saved me. Ain't got no limits, like Master P. I silk shock them demons when they be after me. How you do that there? Make them say, I'm just like Ray Lewis. It ain't no weapon formed, and all we see is murders. The city we come from, but I am bowdy for Jesus Christ the Son. I'm like the ice cream man, I'm serving all the fiends, fiending for the gospel. John 3:16. We are no limit soldiers. For God I thought I told you. We raking up the streets. You can call me Folgers. We got the world bouncing, just like bad checks. My soldiers marching hard, March Madness. We full of ammunition, busting devils, never missing. Spread the word to all these children, showing love, who to be Christian. My homie Brad, he saw the vision. Call me Audubon, cause I got no limits. My homie Brad, he saw the vision. Call me P. Miller, cause I got no limits.
No limits, just like Jesus, teaming up with Master P. Hydroplaning in a tank over the Dead Sea. No limits, just like Jesus, teaming up with Master P. Hydroplaning in a tank over the Dead Sea. No limits, just like Jesus, teaming up with Master P. Hydroplaning in a tank over the Dead Sea.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're all the way live from Deep Flow Radio. We got a special group here tonight, Brad Lane and Pastor Quinn. I want y'all to give a warm welcome to this new song they're about to present, The Blood. Yeah.
I accept the breakthrough so I can transform harmony. I'm covered by the blood, Satan knows there's no harm in me. I serve a God that's glorious. The blood is the reason I'm forever victorious. Walking in my Abrahamic covenant and loving it. Ain't nothing like the blood of the Lamb, and I trust in it. One drop is stronger than disease, even Hercules. And no, I'm not deceived, cause I know it works for me. The blood cries out against every weapon formed against me. I don't need a DNA test to convince me I'm true to the blood, not new to the blood. The blessing in my life is due to the blood. The blood is always working for me wherever I go. Just like God is right beside me, like my footprints in the snow. So if I ever fall, I never fall flat. If that's not God's love, then what do you call that?
I serve a God that's glorious. The blood is the reason I'm forever victorious. Walking in my Abrahamic covenant and loving it. Ain't nothing like the blood of the Lamb, and I'm trusting it. One drop is stronger than disease, even Hercules. And no, I'm not deceived, cause it works for me. The blood cries out against every weapon formed against me.
I don't need a DNA test to convince me.
I got a blood transfusion. My heart is full of love with no arrows from Cupid. My DNA is like my daddy, hung on the cross, crucified, done badly. From my head to my feet, I'm covered in the blood and it's so much peace. The world is crumbling around me, but I stay in my word like I'm spelling out a B. Don't leave your girl around me, I might introduce her to the G-O-D. It's the God in me, to make me walk in love when I'm hating on we. He was covered in a sheet, but on the third day he arose from his sleep. He's the king of all kings, John 3:16, coaching my team. Woo! I serve a God that's glorious. The blood is the reason I'm forever victorious. Walking in my Abrahamic covenant and loving it. Ain't nothing like the blood of the Lamb, and I'm trusting it. One drop is stronger than disease, even Hercules. And no, I'm not deceived, cause it works for me. The blood cries out against every weapon formed against me.
I don't need a DNA test to convince me.
Man, I took a blood bath. Grace plus mercy equals what? Do the math. Now I'm on another path. I chose right when the world went left. I guess I am an outcast, a big boy with a Bible 3000, so fresh, so clean like Andre. I know he coming back for me, homie, one day. So I'm gon' pray that that you meet him someday. Maybe at a job or a church on Sunday. Then you can walk by his side like Kanye. How do you get there? It's only one way. The blood, it means power and glory. The greatest story to die for me. The blood, it was written in red with nails in his flesh and thorns on his head. The blood.
I serve a God that's glorious. The blood is the reason I'm forever victorious. Walking in my Abrahamic covenant and loving it. Ain't nothing like the blood of the lamb, and I'm trusting it. One drop is stronger than disease, even Hercules. And no, I'm not deceived, cause it was for me. The blood cries out against every weapon formed against me.
I don't need a DNA test to convince me.
Yeah. Like I told you, boys and girls, that's Brad Lane and Pastor Quinn. That Heaven or Hell 2, it's the bomb dizzle, baby. Yeah, on a station that plays nothing but hits. Way back in the woods, the old church in the woods. I'm about to go take a blood bath.